Hey there, this is Lynn and
This is Dave.
I actually have my husband with me today, but I just completed 95 weeks on the carnivore diet, and I was in Austin last week and completely forgot to do an update. I didn't bring my scale with me, but I was going to do an update on Monday, week 94, and just got busy and distracted and didn't do it. So I'm here to report on how things have been over the past 2 weeks, not 1 week. And so you got to be a bachelor with a dog while I was gone, right?
Indeed.
How'd that go?
Good. Dog survived.
Dog survived. All
Yeah.
right. Good deal.
I think everything was in good order when you returned. How do you think I did?
I came home to an unmade bed.
Well, I had no one to make it for.
That's okay. That's all right. But yes, the dog is doing well. I think they both missed me. What do you think? Did you miss me?
I definitely missed you.
Yeah.
I'm sure Max did too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we haven't updated anybody on your results lately. And I know that you're still doing carnivore. You just don't ever join me for my videos, you know. So you made a change recently. You want to share what that was?
Well, so I've taken the cream. I used to put heavy cream in my coffee.
Okay.
So I decided I was going to not do that for a while and see what changes I felt in terms of my weight and just how I feel. And I've been reducing the amount of cheese. I haven't cut cheese out of my diet, but I've reduced a lot of it. And so, so it's been maybe, I don't know, a week or 10 days.
Okay.
Of kind of really cutting the cream out.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that, I'd say I weighed in, yesterday, right? Was it yesterday?
Uh-huh.
I came in at just a hair over 200 pounds.
Okay.
So
you had gained a little bit of weight, right?
So I was bumping up against like 208, 207, occasionally 209, 210.
Yeah.
And
every time I saw you, you were munching on cheese.
Yeah, lots of cheese.
Yeah.
So I went and weighed myself yesterday. I came in at just a hair over 200 pounds. So I lost. Now I don't, I haven't been religiously weighing myself every week, but I suspect, a week or two prior, I probably was my typical 207, 208.
Yeah.
So I probably arguably lost 5 or 6 pounds at least, if not 7 or 8.
So it's making a difference for sure.
Yeah, it's making a difference. I mean,
good old cheese.
I don't know that I feel a whole lot difference, but I definitely lost a lot of weight, it seems.
Yeah.
Just by taking the dairy out. And I don't think it really was the cheese as much. I think it was the cream because I put a lot of it in my coffee. Yeah. And I do enjoy coffee. It's one of my few.
So what are you doing with your coffee now? You got some coffee here.
Yeah, it's mostly black. It's like I put just a nibble of cream in it, but almost nothing. I'm learning how to drink black coffee now, or how to enjoy black coffee, which...
Not easy, huh?
It's a little rough,
Because it's really the cream and the other stuff we put in the coffee that we like most, right?
The cream definitely adds some flavor to it, but for sure. But So I'm a little nervous because if I totally get the cheese and the cream out of my diet, what am I going to do? Am I going to drop down to 190 or something?
I don't know. I would assume your body would settle where it's supposed to be.
Maybe.
But then if you feel like you're getting too thin, add a little bit back.
Yeah, I guess so.
So some people could do cheese. It doesn't upset your stomach or anything. So that's good. Right. So awesome. So Texas, the meetup was awesome. I was gone from a Tuesday to Tuesday. Amy and I were going to be doing some writing in our children's books, but we had a really great time at the meetup. I'll put some pictures in here, and so you can kind of see some of the things that I took. A few miles away from our place was this Stonehenge thing. That was cool. Say hi. Hi. So this was beforehand. We were just getting everything set up. We had a really nice size auditorium. There's Kerry and Adam getting the audiovisual set up. There's Emma. There's Malcolm. He's Dr. Kiltz's videographer. He does such a great job for Dr. Kiltz. And there's Amy. Things get goofy whenever we have Amy around. Okay, we're weird. And there's our book table. We've got Rebecca Bavery's Ketogenic Workbook, Amy's book about goal setting and the 12 steps, some skin books and our children's books, and there's the code to donate. Anyone who donated $25 got a book, and one of those books in that stack there. It was a nice setup there. And there's the Healing Humanity merchandise, lots of t-shirts. Kerry's triplets were there, and they manned the booth. Hats, Redmond salt shakers, bracelets, stickers, bumper stickers. At Carnivore Brothers beef jerky, which is amazing. Cutting boards, Healing Humanity totes. And this is Dr. Kilt's setup. He had his book and some supplements, hats, shirts.
And I was listening to something recently, or I did an interview with a plant versus animal-based diet. And we're talking about how important the scientific journals are. And which journal would you take to war? Scientific American or the Bible? The Bible. Because really it's the stories that you've had the courage through your suffering and other people's suffering to share the word in a way.
It's not about me, it's about helping people, period. We're not trying to make anything out of this. We're just trying to make people well, make people healthy, so that you have energy in life and you can live up in a down world. That's our podcast, by the way. You can live up in a down world. So while everybody else is just trying to survive, you can actually thrive. So last thing I'll say, we're done. This is what pastors do. We like to have 5 closings. So my final close is this, 3 words: stay the course. Stay the course. Practice does not make you perfect. Practice makes permanent. Stay the course and have lots of grace for yourself on the journey. Okay? All right. We love you.
So we had Nia and Emma speak. We had Laura Knight Hughes, Adam Lacey. There's me and Amy Hosp. We both spoke. And I forgot to take a picture of Rebecca Bavery. We've got Christopher Brandlin, who is Dr. Chafee's attorney, running for Congress. There's me and Dr. Kiltz, me and Lauren. She's so sweet. And then there's Rebecca, Amy, and I in the car. And then I got to see my granddaughter again. I'm much smaller now. Okay, so I'm also I just started week 3 of Coach Lisa's program. I've been kind of in the learning phase before, and then the first week that I did the program was the week that I was flying to Texas, and it included 1 day of fasting, and then last week it included 2 days of fasting. This week is going to include 3 days of fasting. I'm a little nervous, but in this week also, yesterday, Sunday, started this Parasite cleanse, and I'll share a little bit about that. But I'm going to go ahead and talk first about my results. So I can honestly say this is breaking my stall because I weighed in this morning at 218.0. So that is a significant weight loss since I weighed in last. So over the past 2 weeks, the scale has me down 7.4 pounds. Now, my fat-free body weight did go down by 0.4. That is no muscle, but it's a little bit of bone and a little bit of fluid. And so my overall fat loss for the last 2 weeks is 7 pounds. I'm so delighted. I'm no longer in the 220s. It seemed like it took forever to get out of the 220s. So I'm curious to see what happens this week when I do 3 days of fasting. It's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. So one nice thing is that my visceral fat dropped by 1 pound. And Coach Lisa told me that with her program, she's going to get my visceral fat under 5. So we'll see. It's now 15, but it started at 30. So I've cut it in half. And I know when I told her, when I first started her program, I was 16, and she was kind of surprised at how big that was. And I said, well, but it started at 30. So I've come a long ways for sure. My BMI is down to 33. I need to double check and see where that is. Oh yeah, and of course my metabolic rate never changes, or my age never changes. It still thinks I'm 63. Next month I'm turning, a little under a month, I'm turning 57. Okay, so for my BMI, to get out of the obese range and just into the overweight range, I need to be below 30. So I have 3 more points to go. I think I started, let me see where it was when I first started. My BMI was 51.5 when I started. Mm-hmm. So that's a significant improvement. I'm 3 points away from no longer being classified as obese, but just overweight. And then, of course, I'm not going to stop there, but that's exciting to me to actually see that I'm within reach. And I'm curious to see, too, what happens to my metabolic age when I get out of that obese category, if it improves. Right. If I could get out of the obese category before my 57th birthday, I wonder if it'll adjust my age.
It might.
I hope. Yay, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, so the results are fantastic so far. Obviously, the program is working for me as far as weight loss goes, and I'm not losing muscle. Now, I did talk to Coach Lisa about muscle loss, and she said that I can afford to lose muscle and probably will lose some muscle because my muscle mass is high for my age and my height. So, she said not to worry if I lose muscle. And because I have plenty of muscle, isn't a problem. Okay, so overall, since I began on my first weigh-in was May 31st, 2023, I weighed in at 339.6 pounds, and that was a couple, 2-3 days or so after I officially started. So I know I was over 340 when I first, my top was over 350. I think the most I weighed in at was about 350. But since my first weigh-in, the scale has me down 121.6 pounds. Isn't that great?
That is amazing.
I have gained 26.6 pounds of good tissue, so my actual fat loss is 148.2 pounds. 25.4 pounds of muscle gain, 1.6 pounds of bone gain. So I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, almost 150 pounds of fat loss.
Yeah.
It's just mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. And I came home from Texas and you said you thought I looked thinner. Mm-hmm. And that was before the 2-day fast. But, okay, so the Parasite cleanse, Lisa told me to stop it because I started it yesterday, and I broke out in a rash on my chest. I don't know if you can see, I've got little splotches all over my chest. And yesterday I was itchy. This wasn't itchy, but other places I was, itching my sides, itching my neck, And so she said, stop the Parasite cleanse. That doesn't mean it's not fine for other people. It's just my body doesn't react, or didn't react well to it. So I have to be happy though that Amazon, even though I opened the package, it's not returnable, but they issued me a refund. Very easy and simple. So yeah, gotta love Amazon. Yeah. So anything else that you wanted to share? How you're doing? And we're going to Nashville next month.
Yeah.
He's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. I'm trying to spend more time working out on our weights. Just trying to maintain my muscle, maybe build a little along the way. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where this goes just by cutting the dairy out of my diet. Just see how my body adjusts to it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the results and how I feel on Carnivore. I feel much better on so many different levels, and I think this whole journey has just opened up my eyes to just recognizing just how much our food supply is just so wrecked. I'm at work watching guys eat. Like just today, I was at work, and there's a guy eating Skittles. There's another guy eating a chocolate bar, and sodas, and there's this other guy that likes to have every morning. He gets one of those Dunkin' Donuts, kind of like the iced coffee, like Starbucks iced coffees out of the machine. It's out of the freezer, out of the cooler.
Yeah, those are
awful.
awful.
He gets a Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' equivalent of that. And I was looking at that the other day. He's sitting across from me. I just kind of looked at the label. It had like 52 grams of carbs, carbs. Something like 40 grams of sugar or something like that.
Was that per serving though? Did you see how many servings are in the bottle?
No, I didn't pay attention. I think it's just one serving,
Is
but
it?
Because it's about that big of a drink.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's one serving.
I don't know. Maybe
but,
two.
They
trick you.
They do. But I thought to myself, wow, I've come a long way. I mean, it's not like I used to drink those a lot, but it wouldn't have been unusual for me to have one. Rare, but it wouldn't have been unusual.
And then you would feel bad afterwards.
Right.
Like you'd go, why did I drink that?
Why did I
used to do
that?
that all the time when you didn't have sugar.
Right. And so, I thought to myself, wow, I only eat maybe a couple, 2-3 grams of carbs a day, maybe.
Yeah.
A bad day might be 5, and here he is downing something that's got 40-50 grams of carbs just in one sitting. It's one drink, and he's just getting started for the day. And I'm thinking to myself, this is why why we're messed up.
Well, did he say anything about you checking out the label?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, and it's amazing how many people know these things are bad for them.
Yeah.
But they're like, whatever. It tastes good, or it gives me a high, or I need the energy, or whatever the reason is. But it's almost like, people aren't immune to the fact that this is garbage food that we're putting in our body.
But they're choosing to do it.
But they're choosing to. When you walk into
it's an addiction. It's a very, very strong addiction.
Well, but it's also
sugar.
there aren't a lot of options out there. So if you walk in, so we don't have a cafeteria at work, but we've got this thing called Avante Market, and it's kind of a third-party vendor that comes in, and they basically stock our refrigerator, glass refrigerators full of sodas and drinks and Monsters and the iced coffees, and then they have on the other side of the wall they've got all the carbs. They've got all the chocolate bars and the Luna bars and all that chips galore and all that stuff. And I thought to myself, the options are so limited.
They probably have the healthy stuff like trail mix. Or
a
granola bar or something.
Well, one of the things is they do have a little area where they have, cheese and some meat.
They have hard-boiled eggs?
Yeah, they do have hard-boiled eggs. Okay. So there's really only about 2 or 3 things that I could eat there.
Yeah.
They've got little beef sticks, and then little cheeses and hard-boiled eggs.
Have you looked at the ingredients on the beef sticks?
No, I'm afraid to. But a
lot of the beef sticks have some bad ingredients.
That's about the closest thing I could eat, and that's about it. And so there really isn't any option. So if you want to pick me up, if you want a filler, you want some quick energy, where are you going to go? Are you going to reach for the Monster or the Dunkin' iced coffee?
Well, do you ever need to have a pick me up?
I don't. I'm fine with what I have, and
you do have coffee.
I have coffee, but there's no sugar in it or anything like that.
Even when you were having the cream, you still weren't putting any sugar in it. No. It was just the cream.
I never was big on sugar. Sugar never really appealed to me. I never liked how it made me feel.
Yeah.
It almost felt like if I ate too much sugar, it almost felt like it kind of took over, and I wasn't myself.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Yeah. I can attest to that. You had that. Yeah, you did not like sugar. You didn't like Yeah, you had a ton of moderation when it came to anything that was sugary.
Yeah. So,
whereas me, I'd eat everything.
Right. So I never felt like I was really addicted. And that's probably why when I went carnivore, it wasn't a drastic shift in my life in terms of how I felt.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a few areas like, not ever getting sick now. So I'm going on 2 years, no colds,
That's
no
huge,
nothing.
though.
I feel great, lots of energy. That was one of the big things. The other big thing is I don't need as much sleep. Like I'll get 3.5, 4 hours of sleep, 5 on a really good day if I'm lucky. That's all I need.
And you're busy.
I feel great. And I'm busy.
You work full time.
Yeah.
You're in your PhD program. Just started today with probably the most difficult course. And it was so funny because he found out that other people in this program are only taking one class at a time per term because they're all working full time, and he's taking 2. He thought that was the norm, and now he found out that wait a minute, he's the crazy person who's taking 2 classes a term. But he's getting through it, and this today started a really an advanced, what's it called?
It's advanced quantitative research methods. So it's kind of like, when we do research at the PhD level, there's a lot of statistics. And so this is basically a stat class, but an
on
advanced
steroids.
stats class. So, math has always been a topic that I've struggled with. I have to work to do well at it and really absorb it. It's just not something that's come naturally to me.
Yeah.
So this term is going to be fun.
Well, maybe it's good that you're not eating cheese, and because cheese can be a little inflammatory,
Right.
And so you need to give your brain as much good nutrition as possible.
Yeah.
And the fasting might help because you said you're going to fast with me, right?
I'm going to fast with you. As a matter of fact, I feel really good when I fast. I intermittent fast. I've been intermittent fasting. If I was really honest with myself, pretty much most of my life.
Yeah,
just didn't know it. It wasn't called that 30 years ago.
Right.
But I've always sort of had kind of a 1 meal a day sort of way of living.
Yeah, true.
And it was largely just due to the fact that I was busy, and it wasn't.
And I was always sick, and so I wasn't cooking hardly at all. So it was kind of like fend for yourself.
Right.
And so 1 meal a day was very common.
And so it wasn't by design; it was just by happenstance.
Yeah.
And
whereas I would graze all day on whatever was very fast and easy and didn't require any energy, which was garbage food.
Right.
And
do you remember what I used to always snack? What do I always snack on? As long as you've known me, what's
peanuts?
Well, there's
nuts. Nuts and cheeses.
But cheese and meats, right? Like dry salami, cheese. Those are my go-tos. I do have a little thing for peanuts, only because I like peanuts. Ironically enough, out of all the nut family, is some of the lowest carbs.
Yeah.
So if you're
although
looking
they do have oxalates, so you have to be careful not to have too much.
But if you're looking for a low carb, pick me up, a handful of peanuts goes a long way.
But you're metabolically healthy, so you can handle it.
Right.
And and since that's the way you've been eating for pretty much your whole life, you could definitely handle it. So yeah. Well, let's hope that you survive the next 8 weeks through this term. It sounds like once this term's over, the next term is going to be easier, and then you're going to go into your actual working on your dissertation, right? Time to retire, isn't it? So, all right. Well, anyways, just wanted to bring Dave in here. It's been a long time since I brought him in, and wanted to give you guys an update, and hopefully I'm going to see some of you in Nashville in April, and we're having a good time. My daughter and son-in-law are coming with us, and so I'm hoping that they will learn a little bit about carnivore, hopefully. So, all right, that's it. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.